Undergraduate degree is in Industrial and Systems Engineering from Auburn University. I have an MBA from the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, and I have an MBA from Harvard University. And I've got all kinds. I went through an executive finance program at Wharton University, University of Pennsylvania's business school. So I've had my share of education. I'm always learning, but I've had my share of education. Thank you for asking. I am a registered professional engineer. I have my PE license, although I don't practice engineering anymore. Y'all will enjoy this. I am kind of old. I'm 60 years old. But, it's kind of funny when I sit and look at y'all. When I was going to Auburn, I had a slide rule. And in my sophomore year, the very first calculator came out, made by Texas Instruments, called it SR10. And it was the most marvelous thing. Because if you're in engineering and you're using a slide rule to do, say, a square root function, it isn't easy to do. But to put the number in and hit that square root sign, that was like magic. And I ran out to a bookstore and bought one before the price went up. Little did I know, I paid $199 for a calculator today people give away for free. You can buy the bubblegum machine. And my, what's really interesting, I got an iPhone. I assume everybody here's got an iPhone or something similar to a smartphone. This has about 10 times more computing power than existed on the Auburn University campus. In fact, this watch, which I brought in to make a point, has more computing power than the mainframe did at Auburn University when I was there. We had to punch cards. I mean, it was very crude. So to watch this technology era come in, it's been fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Okay, yes?
How does someone with an engineering degree end up in achievement plumbers?
It's a good question. Engineering, obviously, a lot of math and sciences, and as I go through a career, and we talk about this, careers are an interesting thing. People that think they can plan a career are crazy. There's no such thing. It's really all about luck and timing, and I'm going to try to share some stories about how my career happened. It's just, you can take anybody that's made it through a career and look back and say, what happened? It just, stuff happened. But I worked in an engineering organization. I worked over at Southern Company where we designed and built power plants. We had we actually had 4 nuclear plants under construction, about 5 dams under construction, 3 or 4 big fossil fuel plants. And so I did that, and I got an assignment from my engineering executive vice president to create a productivity improvement program. We were growing so fast, we could not hire enough engineers. We hired every engineer we could hire from Auburn, University of Alabama, University of Tennessee. But the economy was going wide open. The economy was really growing about 8 to 10% a year. And the load growth was for electrons was just huge. So we were going wide open. And so I got this opportunity. How are we going to improve? We put in place automated drafting, which was a big deal back then. I mean, they had this huge machine about as big as this room that you could sit at a computer screen and load it. It would draw. The computer would draw. I thought that was just bad. CAD/CAM system. I mean, it was very friendly CAD/CAM system. But we did a lot of things to improve performance of the company. And then I got assigned to a project to redesign the compensation system for 33,000 employees or so. And that was really cool. And I got a project. I was a director of corporate performance for Alabama Power Company, where my job was to design performance measures for the whole company. And so I started getting further away from organizations. Then I ran a number of business units in the Southern Company. And in my capacity with Southern Company, I ran our organizational consulting function for a while. On behalf of the Southern Company, I consulted with a lot of companies outside the organization. I coordinate best practice visits for our executives of Southern Company and what they did to understand other companies. We brought, thank you, Jack Welch down from General Electric. I don't know if y'all have studied Jack Welch. Probably the most prominent CEO in the world. He was a CEO of GE for about 15 years. he has a very unique style about him, but he's one of the very best at creating a vision and managing change. And again, GE was the largest corporation on the face of the earth, and he was CEO. So I just kept getting further and further away, and sort of became, I started getting into finance, budgeting and finance, and went back to work to get a finance degree. And then I went to Harvard to get an advanced business degree, and the Chamber is a business organization. And since I've been here 15 years in the business world, I knew everybody, which is important. I mean, you can't connect the dots if you don't know people. So that's the reason why. Long answer to a question, but that's the reason why. Just gradually got away from hardcore engineering.
If you could go back, you know, hindsight is 2020, what would be some of the changes you made career-wise, would have made career-wise?
An area that I wish I'd spent more time in my career is corporate finance. And as I began to learn, if you really want to understand how the guts of an organization works, especially a for-profit organization, learning to dissect the financials and drive behavior to impact the financials for the owners is really, really powerful regardless of what you do. You're always having to put together business cases for a new computer system or business cases to invest in a marketing program or an ad program or whatever. And having a finance background allows you to put that business case in hard numbers. So if I had to do that, that's the way I was going to be a doctor. And I was a poor child, and I didn't have any money, so I didn't think I could go to medical school. So I saved my money when I graduated from high school in Nashville, Georgia, and saved enough money to go we were on the quarter system, the first quarter. And I took and got an ROTC scholarship, which paid for all my books and tuition. And then when I was co-oping, I was on the co-op program, also, I worked a second job, so I paid every dime of my education. There was no Hope Scholarship back then. How many of you are on the Hope Scholarship right now? Just two?
Mine ran out.
What happened?
Ran out of hours.
Oh, it ran out?
Yes.
I'm actually part of Cobb is Cobb's second largest community in the state of Georgia, but working on a program right now to allow Hope Scholarship to be refunded, full 100% of it. So. But anyway, that was my journey, and I didn't think I could go to medical school, so I got an engineering degree because if I did, I knew I'd get a job. But I wish, and I got into my second MBA program at Harvard way too late to change careers, so it's still been very helpful to me. But that's what I do. I'd be sure I was well-grounded in principles of finance. But that's the scorecard for running a business. Income statement, balance sheets, you better be able to read it and interpret it and know what drives the numbers and be sure you got financial ratios down pat. And it gives you credibility in the company too. If you can read and understand how the financials work together, it really is going to help your career. So that's what I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
When a university like KSU wants to get a football team, all the finance that goes along with that, is that anything that the Chamber of Commerce gets involved, or is that solely by the only concern of the university?
It's a community issue.
Okay.
We work very closely with Dan Pat, Dr. Pat, president of the university. It's a big deal. And I'm a board of directors of Chattahoochee Technical College. I have been for 8 years. We brought sports to Chattahoochee Tech. We have a football team. We have a basketball team. Trying to create a sense of unity. We did something 3 years ago that had never been done. We merged 3 campuses: Chattahoochee Technical College, Appalachian Tech, and North Metro Tech. We put those together in one school. And I know, I assume if you read, there's rumors going around that KSU and Southern Poly are going to merge. That's just rumors. It has not, no decision's been made on it, but it's rumors out there. So everybody's looking for efficiency, and education is no different. Trying to deliver quality education at a cheaper cost and deliver it in a different manner. I strictly learned when I was growing up about material in a classroom looking at a book. And y'all know that's not the way most of your generation learns. You learn through other means.